On our program today, the African proverb, as usual. And of course, we'll also be joined by Jenna Bosonko. I'm not going to do the mistake again. Glasgow on the COP26, which is happening right now in Scotland. She will give us update of all the happenings. As you know, yesterday she was also on this program trying to give us update. And we'll also do the newspaper review with our own Mr. Ade Drame. And of course, we'll also have sports. Momodu Gajaga will be here on sports from Dubai. And we'll also have inspirational stories. Kabagal will be here, a very famous name. And Eso, we'll start with the African proverb. Can you tell us what we have today?
All right, so our proverb this morning reads, when a needle falls into a well, many people will look into the well, but only a few will be ready to go down after it.
So, well, those few are with sharp eyes. I mean, how do you call that? When you hear this proverb, what comes to your mind?
Let me give it a shot first. It's like if you don't cultivate something, you can't harvest it. What you don't work for, you don't get. That's my guess.
Well, I mean, when you look at the proverb, when a needle falls into a well, many people will look into the well, but only a few will be ready to go down after it. For me, I have a different interpretation, and it's a matter of efforts. I mean, you can say, I can do this, I can do that, but I believe experience, the one who can do it, will go extra mile to make sure he produces a positive result. I'm looking at this proverb. For me, that's what I mean. I don't know, Mr. Ade.
Yeah, you know, viewers, even before we came on air, we'd already had the argument about this. I think most of these African proverbs, what I like about them is that you give it to 10 people, you probably get 10 different interpretations. For me, I think the interpretation is don't chase futile causes. A needle, if you took it in the kind of literal sense, you take a needle that falls into a well, what's the use of going after it? It's easy to get another needle. And what's the chance of you finding it? So don't chase futile causes and futile ventures. Save your energy for something worthwhile.
Well, what I think, if you take this proverb and connect it to, when you connect it directly, you might get the interpretation wrong. But when you try to at least maybe use it in a way of life, I mean, I believe you will be able to get something out of it.
I think that's what I'm doing. I'm not being literal about it. I'm actually saying that if you use it to put it into real life, it's like don't chase a futile gesture or a futile venture, something that you're not going to be able to do or attain, and that's how I view it.
You know, sometimes I say to myself, how did all these proverbs come about? I mean, who
sat down and thought of them?
Yes, the whole of these things, and now we are using it. We have a lot of African proverbs from different. You'll see an African proverb from Nigeria, from Kenya, from the Gambia. Well, these people must have a great idea on how to do this.
You know, that's the beauty of literature. It forces you to think.
You took the words right. I was just going to say it actually forces you to think. Very thing I was going to say. And that's the beauty of it. Just a few words, and yet it's sort of, you know, even one of the more obvious ones, you know, when you know, two elephants fight, is the grass that suffers. You know, you think about that, and you know, there's so many of these, and they're beautiful. And this is another beautiful one again, which has made us think.
Exactly. Thank you very much for. Well, I mean, I think it's a fruitful discussion, and most people will learn from this. Well, viewers, we'll be taking a short break. After the break, then we'll be connecting to Jaina Sonko in Glasgow, in Scotland. She's attending the COP26, that's the Climate Change Conference. And of course, officials from the Gambia also are attending this conference at the moment. And yesterday, the Vice President was there, and she also gave a very important speech. So I know Jenna Bosonko will be taking us through this after the break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Looking for the fastest and easiest way to receive money transfers from abroad? Well, QMoney and Ria just made it happen. Now you can receive international money transfer from RIA directly into your QMoney account with no additional cost. Once you receive an SMS alert about your transfer, walk into any QMoney agent across the country to receive your payment for free, or use the money immediately to buy credit, QPower, and other QMoney services. It's fast, safe, and convenient. For more info, call customer care on 133. QMoney, Sunyu Kalpe. Terms and conditions apply.
With so many things to do in a single day, it's important to have a network you can trust. When there's family and friends to connect with and business calls to make, you need a network that is reliable and fast. Talk longer, browse faster, go farther, and roam wider. When your network is solid, the world is your oyster. QCell, your trusted network in the Gambia.
To make sure your company's products and services reach your potential customers, it is essential that you choose the right channel for your marketing purposes. QTV has the widest reach locally and beyond, and we can give your business the visibility it needs. Call QTV Marketing on +220 324 4444 or email us at marketing@qtv.gm and take your business to the world.
Welcome back after that short break. And of course, if you're just tuning in, this is QTV's This Morning, and I am Ibrahim Abalde. I am joined by my colleague, Ansumana Eso Nyasi. And this program is sponsored by One Stop Water Solutions for all your water dispensers and filters. They are located at Sukuta traffic lights. And we'll go straight to Jenna Bosonko, as I mentioned. She is attending the COP26 climate conference in Glasgow right now, and we'll be connecting to her right now. Jenaba, how are you?
And Mr. Ade there, as well as
I'm not getting
Isunyasi.
Jenaba. Hello, Jenaba.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you now loud and clear. What's going on?
Yes, so I'm so happy to join you guys. Hello, Eso. Hello, Mr. Ade.
Hello, Jennifer.
I see you guys debating on the African proverb. You know, it's my favorite on this morning. And I think I agree with Mr. Ade this time in relation to wasting your time to certain things that you know clearly well you can't achieve.
Yes. So what's the latest, Jenaba?
Yeah, so the latest is the Vice President's statement yesterday. To be honest, I'm not saying this because I'm a Gambian, but out of all of the individuals who delivered statements yesterday, the Vice President's statement was the most powerful. Trust me, I'm not saying this because I'm a Gambian. The statement was very authentic, it was very honest, highlighting certain things that are happening on a daily basis. And one of the most important things that she talked about had to do with the fact that just nationally determined contributions and all the commitments that countries have towards the Paris Agreement is not enough for countries to actually combat climate change. I think that was really, really honest because everyone is talking about nationally determined contributions here and there. But there's more to it. There's more to just some of these documents that we just have on paper. There's more action that needs to be done. While she was also giving her statement, she also mentioned some of the disaster issues that have happened in the Gambia. Yesterday I mentioned this. Least developed countries are actually paying for consequences that they least contribute to. So she also highlighted that. And she further said that we should not leave Glasgow COP26 without making the right decisions, without publishing a document that is good enough. If that's not the case, then we failed. Boris Johnson is on his way here to Glasgow to sit down and try to do the final negotiations. I know there's already a draft that has been published. I'm yet to look at it. I just saw that was published this morning. So I will take a look at it, and then eventually when the final document comes out, then I'll be able to update in relation to that. But as Johnson has said it, this is our last week, and countries have to make bold compromises. There are certain things that might not favor you as a country, but we have to do it. For example, now they're trying to work on cars. You know, the government that these guys admit they're trying to see another way to come up with better ones. It might not favor certain economies, but whatever the case, the compromise has to be there.
It's important. When you look at Gambia, I mean, we've played a very important role when it comes to fighting climate change. And what are some of the things that you think, according to some of the officials, that can be done to help fight climate change, Jenaba?
Well, just to let you know that the Honorable Minister, Mr. Lamdiba, yesterday met the UNDP administrator. In 2019, in COP25, they met the UNDP administrator, who actually helped Gambia to revise our current NDC, the current NDC that we had. And now, fast forward, 2021, COP26, we met again with the UNDP administrator, so he can support the Gambia to implement its nationally determined contribution. Because like I mentioned, like the Vice President said, if we do not implement these things, it's just a document. It's just another COP26 where political leaders meet again to discuss about things and nothing comes out of it. This might be our last chance, and we need to act now as countries to be able to change the climate situation in the world.
Well, making decisions, how did you see the whole process? Are you sure officials are ready to take up the challenge to make final decisions?
Well, like I said, we're still waiting. I said Boris Johnson is on his way for final negotiation. And yeah, we're still waiting to see what is going to happen in relation to what can countries compromise, like I mentioned. You know, there are certain activities that will not obviously favor certain countries. So they have to come together to see how they can, you know, make those bold compromises at the end of the day to change the narrative. But to be honest, it's going well so far. You know, yesterday I went around the different pavilions. I see the different activities that they're having. And to be honest, most of the discussions that I've seen today are very honest. People are very, you know, they're just trusting these things. And that's what we need, you know, to get the change that we need.
Well, when it comes to fighting climate change, we understand there are many factors leading to climate change, and which is affecting Africa in general. From your own point of view, what do you think should be done when it comes to renewable energy, trying to make sure we fight climate change? What should be done, Jenaba?
Well, I'm going to put my perspective aside in this instance. I am going to bring the perspective of the delegation, of the minister. Some of the things that he mentioned, some of the things that he feels that should be done to support Gambia to also contribute to changing the current climate narrative. He talks about finance. Climate finance is a very big problem for least developed nations, and now they're asking them to wait for 2025. And he is saying that that's too long. It's needed now. So the delegation is saying that they need money. What they need is proper climate financing to be able to implement the NDC and other activities towards climate mitigation and adaptation. And again, just to say that the ministry is saying that, the Ministry of Finance specifically, is saying that their priority is adaptation. The money that is needed now should be channeled towards adaptation. That is the priority of least developed countries, Gambia included. But for some reason, most of the funds sometimes are directed towards mitigation, which does not really favor them. So this is what the minister is saying, this is what the officials from the Ministry of Finance are saying. And they're also saying that the money needed should be grant-based. It should not be based on loans. It should be based on grants, because currently, looking at countries' financial situation, it's not looking good. Just recently in the Gambia, we saw the minister come up with the revenue estimates and expenditure, which was finalized eventually. And we saw some of our expenses, some of our debt financing, all of those things. So we don't need more loans. According to them, grants should be given for the country to work towards the climate adaptation they're looking forward to.
Interesting. And Mr. Ade, that's Jennifer Sonko.
Yeah.
Any other thing you want to ask?
Yeah, I think, Jennifer, I hope you can hear me. You mentioned that the Vice President has said that, people should do more than just talk. Is she actually saying that at the end of the day, what they should come up with is a binding agreement, something that people actually sign up to and say, we will do this, and then they put in place milestones that have to be checked and ticked off, rather than people just give some kind of vague agreement? Is she saying they should come up with a binding agreement?
Well, specifically, she did not say they should come up with a binding agreement specifically. So her major concern was that these documents are put in place, that our national determined contributions, as well as other priorities that we have towards the Paris Agreement that are usually not implemented, or that are too little for us as Africans and just the country as general, the world in general, to be able to achieve the climate that we want to see. But specifically, she did not mention that binding document. But Mr. Ade, really, do you think even if there's a binding document, some of these countries will, at the end of the day, stick to it? Because we've seen situations as such.
I think yes, because I think what you have otherwise is people just give a general message saying, we promise to do this, in a kind of vague way, and then they don't stick to it. And nobody embarrasses them, because they'll say, well, it was just, we just gave this commitment. We didn't sign a binding agreement saying we will do this. I think you have to, after what has happened with the Paris Agreement, when you think that only the Gambia in the whole world is going to meet some of those, in the whole world, 198 countries, only the Gambia can meet it. I mean, what does that tell you? That tells you that unless people actually commit and sign up to something saying we will do this, then that is what you'll get. We'll be back at COP 27, 28, 29, 30, and we'll still be saying the same things. We're going to do this, we're going to do that. People have to sign binding agreements and stick to them.
And Mr. Ade, let's take a look at it. I talked about it, I'm repeating it. The fact that listable countries, including the Gambia, contribute less to all of these problems at the end of the day. So us having a proper NDC, really, what percentage is it going to contribute? So we're looking at the major contributors coming up with more commitments.
And you know what, when I knew that COP26 was coming, Jennifer, I wanted some of the least developed countries to actually make the bold statement that actually we will go so far as to sue some of these developed countries for actually what we are suffering as a result of their abuse of technology and everything else, which is impacting us. And really, I wanted somebody to make that statement and not just be a gesture, but actually to mean it, because we are suffering for what they are doing, and we need to hold them to account.
Yes.
And the funniest thing is right now, negotiations are ongoing in relation to transportation, the carbon that some of these cars emit. And I'm sure the conversation is heated. Some of these countries might not want to lose some of the income that this is bringing into their country. And at the end of the day, it affects the woman right there in Jarasoma, in the Gambia.
This is one of the most difficult conversations that people will have, because even here in the Gambia, we are in the midst of prospecting for oil. Senegal has already done that. If Gambia gets oil, it will change everybody's lives in this country. And yet, the whole of the rest of the world is trying to move away from fossil fuel, including oil. And so Gambia then has a difficult conversation we have to have with ourselves. Do we want to become an oil-producing nation when the rest of the world will be moving away from a reliance on oil? Arab countries that rely heavily on oil obviously won't want to sign up to something. Some of them haven't even attended this conference.
Yes.
So, you know, one has to...
For their own interest, yes. So you have something for
Jay,
Jennifer?
just very quickly, I know you're very passionate about youth matters. And I understand Gambia's Fatou Jeng also made a powerful statement at a high level, you know, meeting as well, which is also part of the COP26 convergence. How is the youth participation like, especially with the Gambian delegation as well?
Yes, before I answer that, I have a cold right now, so if I sneeze, don't be surprised.
It's okay, go ahead.
Yes, so in relation to youth participation, youth and climate change, I'm actually working on a story right now on youth and climate change. So I've already interviewed some of these young people and see what they have to say. I mentioned it yesterday. Kemo Fati is saying that politicians should step aside, you know, and allow the young people to sit on the table and make decisions that are going to affect them and their children. Because these political leaders, at some point, they're going to go. It's us that are going to be here and have to deal with the adverse effects of climate changes. So, to be honest, I'm so impressed with Gambian youth, their participation. The front, the Great Green Wall front line is led by Kemo Fati, a leading environmental activist. Fatou Jeng is leading discussions in the COP26 when it comes to gender involvement. And I mean, yesterday listening to her speech, I'm so impressed. Looking at the crowd, I could see on the faces of individuals how proud they are. So she's really pushing for the involvement of women when it comes to climate negotiations. Like I mentioned, that woman in Jarasoma suffering there does not know all of these things that are happening. So these people need to be enlightened. They need to know what is happening, what can be done, what agricultural practices can they use to be able to reduce some of the adverse effects of climate change. You know, the understanding is not there yet. But when I talk about understanding, I'm not talking about workshops that we organize in Ghana, where we organize workshops at any hotel and teach people stuff. And at the end of the day, that's the end of it. Everybody's gone, you get your per diem and all of that. That is what is happening when it comes to climate change issues. And that has to stop.
Well, interesting out there. And Janaba, thank you very much for talking to us on this morning, and hope to talk to you soon.
Yes, thank you so much, Ibrahim. So just to say, I don't have the conference background or outdoor background today because I'm at home, I'm still waiting. Right now, I do not have any activity at the center. So I am waiting for about 12 o'clock to go to the center, and then the Honorable Minister of Agriculture, Ami Fabri, will be delivering a statement. And I'll get to capture that. So hopefully tomorrow when I come back here, I will tell you about that session, inshallah.
Thank you very much, Janaba, and talk to you soon.
Bye.
Viewers, that's QTV's Janaba Sonko in Glasgow, Scotland, attending this COP26 Climate Change Conference. And I hope, Mr. Ade, it's not just going to be a discussion. At the end of the time, they sign papers without any action. You know, we have that problem.
I think you mentioned that, Ade.
Listen, anybody who knows me very, very well knows that they'll know that I get fed up of these. I've been invited to UN conferences in Washington, in Istanbul, in Germany, and I always say before they invite me, are we just going to come here and talk? Or are we going to come here and make decisions that bind us? Otherwise, I'll stay home and I'll join you on Skype or whatever. You know, I don't need to waste money flying somewhere, staying in a hotel, getting per diem for what? You know, we can chat. If all we want to do is chat, let's chat. But if we want to do something and take action, let's be serious about it. And that's what we need to do at these conferences. We need to stop all this stuff. People go to a workshop, they validate some document, and nothing ever happens with it.
Exactly.
That's what we don't want.
I think action should be taken now because coming years, climate change will be a problem if it's not tackled as early as possible. Well, viewers, that will take us to a short break. After the break, the newspaper review next. We'll be back.
With so many things to do in a single day, it's important to have a network you can trust. When there's family and friends to connect with and business calls to make, you need a network that is reliable and fast. Talk longer, browse faster, go farther, and roam wider. When your network is solid, the world is your oyster. QCell, your trusted network in the Gambia.
Welcome back from that short break, and we are back again. Remember, this morning is sponsored by One Stop Water Solutions for all your water dispensers and filters. We are located at the Sukuta traffic lights. Go window shop and get your dispensers or filters. And of course, now we'll go straight to the newspaper review.
I like how you say that, dispensers.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
But yes,
Let's
so,
take us through the Standard newspaper.
On the Standard newspaper, I mean, on the front page, the main headline is on the IEC nominations. It says IEC rejects 6 appeals. Barrow leads NPPA Grand Coalition on campaign tour. GMC vows to protest against my father's disqualification. Barrow tells journalists to be impartial as campaign starts. SSHFC, that is Social Security, validates $2 billion strategic plan. Banky to back only candidates who support legalizing marijuana.
Legalizing ganja.
Yep, the weed. So let's
okay, let's take a look at the Point newspaper. Barrow urges media accuracy as he begins campaign. Kirpate communities says SIS command reduces crime, boost economic activities in North Bank region. And of course, George sent former NIA DG and others out of court. That's what we have on the Point newspaper. Mr. Ade, let's start with the Point newspaper.
Yeah.
Barrow urges media accuracy as he begins campaign.
I think
As
we
you
have
know,
the same to understand
yes,
well.
the media is very important and they play a crucial role, not only in reporting elections, but also in the country.
Across the country, and it's a difficult one these days because you don't just have traditional media anymore, you know, newspapers, and then some of these newspapers have a website. You have lots of people who call themselves journalists, and they set up blogs and online platforms where they tell you they're dispensing news, but actually many of them they're dispensing propaganda, and many of them they will spread rumors as if they were facts. And so it's a very difficult situation, and it's not just in the Gambia. We saw what happened in America, where up to the day of inauguration, you had news sites that supported Trump, claiming that he had won and that he was being cheated out of the election. So it's not just a Gambian thing these days. And because people have smartphones and so on, news, and it seems particularly bad or false news, spreads even faster than the truth. Right. And I think that's why the president is making this, because I think sometimes people have a difficulty between discerning what is fact and what is fiction.
Yes.
Because people send both as if it's news, and it's not necessarily news.
Well, I when I was going through the newspaper, I had the president. I saw the president said, I mean, they have a lot. The government of the Gambia have a lot to share with the general public. Do you think that's why they said accuracy? I mean, the message have to be shared.
You know, I'm not even sure that's a difficult one, because if you are the government, you have the Ministry of Information. Throughout the year, you're telling the nation what you're doing and what you've done. Yeah. You know, and people can hear that, and they can determine whether, you know, they believe what they hear. You know, this is not special pleading, and I don't think he's asking it specifically just for himself or his government. I think he said they should be impartial. And I think that is what we should ask of the media. I don't think the media should necessarily start taking sides, because if you take sides and you go with one single party political agenda, then I don't trust anything you do or say anymore when you're talking about somebody else. or another. And so I think he's right in asking for impartiality. And I think that's the most he can ask for.
I think I'll agree with you, especially on your point earlier. I mean, with the democracy we enjoy now, the freedom and the social media, the proliferation of media houses, it's becoming even more difficult really to differentiate between who is a journalist and who is not. So I think the onus now lies on us to also ensure that whatever information we're giving out is factual. It really helps as well.
Yes.
But yes,
I mean the kind of journalistic integrity has to be there, and I think that's what he's asking for.
Indeed.
Important. Let's take a look at politics and media houses. Politicians want their programs to be covered, but what are they doing to make sure media houses get the adequate materials to cover these rallies? I mean, it's important because media houses don't work like that. It's important for them to get recorders. Some of them get certain things that will help them. So I think it's important for them to know media houses need these resources too.
Yeah, I mean, media houses can only use the resources they have.
Yeah.
And so sometimes when people can't cover something, whether it's an event or a rally or something, I think the politicians or the political parties have to know that they're not finite, they're not endless resources that every media house has. They cannot cover anything and everything. And they need to understand that. But sometimes they don't. And so if you don't cover something, they'll think, oh, it's because you don't like us, because we didn't pay, or this, or whatever the reason might be. But no, they don't know what your resources are. And you use your resources in the way that you think are best. And so you can't just send everything. If there were 18 political parties, which there are registered, and if all of them were contesting, and if all 26 initially and then 23, if all 23 aspirants had been sanctioned, is anybody seriously saying that every media house should cover every single one of those? It cannot be.
Impossible.
It's an impossibility.
Impossible.
And so you have to use your resources in the most sensible way that you can.
And also during campaign periods, I mean, you have to you pay for coverages. It's not you don't expect media houses to deploy all their resources and then go with you all the way to Basay and back, and at no cost. It doesn't happen anywhere.
I also quote the president on this paper. He said his contract is a social contract, and he wants to impact people's lives.
Yes. I mean, everybody who stands for president, essentially what you're making is a social contract. It's a contract between you and the people. And I always say this to people, and I said it in relation to another discussion we had around some of the candidates. If somebody says, I lost being president, but I have a good idea for the benefit of the country, that person should still go to whomever. Because trust me, if the NPP wins, the president is not just the NPP president, he's the president of the Gambia. And that's what everybody has to realize. And so if you have good ideas, go to that person. Don't wait for them to fail and say, oh, next election I'll be able to capitalize on that failure. Because then you're not a patriot.
Yeah, it's like what Barack Obama said, wishing that your commander-in-chief fails is the same as wishing that your country fails.
Yeah, and
nobody should wish for the president to fail anyway.
This is it.
Nobody.
In Sierra Leone, just 2 days ago, the Millennium Challenge Corporation gave the current government a green light for a lot of what they had done. And some people were quite disappointed. They actually wanted them to fail, and I'm thinking, why? Sierra Leoneans, and you get that in countries.
Well, at some point, the country belongs to all of you. I mean,
indeed.
Whatever the president does, I mean, he's doing it for the country.
That's right.
Let's take a look at the bridge in Basse for the moment. It's for the whole country. I mean, I can fly through that bridge, and ISO can do the same thing. Maybe we are not supporting the same party, but I mean, we can all use that. It belongs to us. Well, let's take a look at Kirpate community says SIS command reduces crime, boost economic activities in NBR. So they are praising the SIS.
State Intelligence Service.
Which is good, because we all know that where crime is tackled or dealt with inspires confidence. If I come to a community or a country and I hear, crime is rampant and nobody's dealing with it, then be less inclined to either go to that community or invest in that community or live in that community. And so if people have that confidence, that's what they should be there for, to instill confidence in people that, you know, we are tackling these things. And then that, so for me, that's a good story, and I'm glad to read that.
And I think the SIS Director General is on tour as we speak. He started his tour on Monday, so and his message has been, you know, peace, especially within, you know, during the election period. So I think that's important.
Well, peace is something very important, especially at this time. It is a very sensitive time, so I think it's important for authorities to go out and preach peace. How do you call it? Preach peace. I mean,
well, you preach peace because it matters, and politics matters. You know, people who say, you know, I'm not interested, or I don't want to get involved in politics. Politics will get involved with you because it touches everything you do. And so peace, because the fact that people are contesting means that they disagree about where they think they should take the country. But that disagreement should not end in violence or violent confrontation. Let it be a contest of ideas. And that's what people should be preaching, and that's why we're preaching peace. It's a small country, and if I do something violent and touches ESO, it touches so many other people that I know as well. And so we're trying to keep the peace in the interest of, you know, the sort of stability of the nation. And as I said, if somebody's an investor, potential investor in the Gambia, and they hear that Gambia is a violent nation, think, you know what, I'll go and invest somewhere else.
Well, I mean,
Cape Verde or somewhere.
Exactly. So George sent former NIA DG and others out of court because they refused to get into the dock.
Yes, if you are an accused person in a court case, you stand in the dock whilst the trial is on. Apparently, these people think they're above the law and refused to stand in the dock. And so they were sent away from the court. The case can carry on without you. You don't have to be there. So I don't know what they're trying to achieve by not standing in the dock. It's the law.
They said they are not, according to the paper, they said they don't have any confidence in the judge.
But there's a process for that.
They said they don't have any confidence on the judge. That's why they refuse to do that. And it's not the first time. This is the second time.
And that's why they were sent away.
But they could have their lawyers file a complaint.
Well, there's a legal process for that. And so I think them not standing in whether they think that's going to sort of annul or dismiss the case, I'm not sure. But there's nothing to be gained by it because the trial will continue without them.
Interesting. So what do we have there?
So Banky to back only candidates who support legalizing marijuana.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, Banky, everybody knows his agenda. And that's a kind of central plank of his agenda. And so for weed smokers everywhere who might have wanted to support Banky, I'm not sure all of them would have. There are probably weed smokers who support other parties as well. But at least he is saying that unless, and in the Gambia, there's not a hope in hell that any candidate is going to embrace legalizing marijuana.
Well, I don't support the legalization of weed, although it is said it is said legalize the ganja.
What Banky should do is to engage members of the public more on this, try to explain in detail what he means or what he is getting at. Because if you just say legalizing, what me and you are thinking now,
people to smoke everywhere.
You know, give people that freedom to just smoke anyhow and just anywhere, which I don't think is what he means. I want to believe that it's not what he means.
Well, when you look at Gambia, our people connect everything to religion, being the Christian, being Islam. I mean, when you talk about legalizing ganja, first, this is what we connect it to. Our religion doesn't allow this. How can we be a country that will legalize marijuana? So it will be very difficult. I mean, Banky's agenda will be very difficult to work in this country.
I think he's focusing more on the economic benefits aspect of it. But for me, I mean, you look at, I mean, the number of young people, you know, involved in drug trafficking, you know, using drugs, you know, and you look at the impact it is having on their lives, even mentally. I think that for me isn't encouraging. But again, like I said, he has to explain these things in detail so we understand what he really means. Because otherwise, I don't see this game getting anywhere.
It's not going to get a hold anywhere, and I think.
Well, I love him anyway because he's consistent. I mean, he is following his path, and what he wants to do, he is doing it.
I have so much admiration for this guy for his consistency.
Yes, I respect him for that. You know, you have to be consistent.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, all the time. Yes. So, any other thing as well?
IEC rejects.
IEC rejects 6 appeals.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting one because we all sat through whilst the chairman read out those who had been accepted and those who had not. And for me, most of the ones that were rejected seemed fairly clear-cut. So I was quite intrigued when I heard that some of them were appealing, and I've heard some of them, we've heard about people getting ready to protest about disqualification, and it seems that they're standing on very, very thin ice. They don't seem to have proper grounds for an appeal. Some of them, when you look at the reasons for their rejection, you know, when you had one of them said because they had the identical, several people who signed for them identically had signed for another party. And so the law, which I had asked this question, can somebody sign for more than one candidate? And at first, some of my colleagues thought, yes, you can, but in fact, the law says no.
No, you can't.
But it's common sense. You cannot
No,
sign for two
And you
people.
can't endorse 2 people.
Yeah, and also you have the dates on these forms.
Yeah.
So if you sign for me
Yeah.
on the 1st, and then you sign for someone on the 2nd, the one that I signed first would be the valid one.
It's just like if I buy a land, I mean,
Yeah.
I buy a land in 1995, and
That's right.
you bought the land in 2001.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll give the land back to me.
Well, this is it. And you would wonder that if I was coming for your signature, the first question I might ask you, have you signed for somebody else? If you tell me yes or no, but I should have asked that question. And you know, I think it was Papa Fal. Was one of the ones who's you know, that was one of the things that tripped him up, is that people had signed for him, had already signed for somebody else, and he said the other party had already lodged theirs before he did, and he said that's the only reason why. But it seemed quite a coincidence that several people had signed for him, and those several people had also signed for another party. So that's unusual. But most of the rest of them, I think, I would be very, very surprised if any of these are overturned and they are allowed to contest. But it's their right to challenge it as far as it can go. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Ade, for joining us on
Pleasure,
this
as always.
newspaper review, and hope to see you again.
I hope I get invited again.
On this platform. you enjoying the This Morning coffee?
I love the morning coffee,
it's
and it's
good
almost super strength, which is how I like it. And
goes out.
Mariama, who makes
It goes out to
who is our producer.
To our producer, Mariama Sise.
Mariama
She
Sise,
knows this.
He knows exactly how I like
All right, and thank you very much, Mr. Ade. We'll be going for a short break. And after the break, we'll be joining, Mr. Momodu Gajaga will be joining us live from Dubai. We'll be back.
The best product in town is back. QCell's MiFi router. Get the best MiFi in the country for just $2,800 and connect up to 15 users with 4G internet speeds and a long-lasting battery life. So rush now to any of our customer care locations and get the best for less while stocks last. For more info, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sinubus, the Gambia's quality network. We innovate, others follow.
Money, the biggest mobile money service in the Gambia, has taken mobile banking to the next level. Now, you can link your Q Money wallet with your bank account. Yes, link your Ajib or EcoBank accounts with your Q Money wallet and get instant access to your cash anytime. No need to queue at the bank anymore. Transfer funds from your bank account to your wallet or your wallet to your bank account using Q Money Bank Link is the fastest, most secure, and convenient way to transfer funds between your wallet and bank account. For more information, call our customer care on 133. Q Money. Sunyu Kalpe. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back from that short break. And of course, you're reminded you're watching QTV This Morning. I am Ibrahim Balde and I'm with my colleague Ansumana Eso Nyasi. And now we'll be connecting to Momodu Gajaga live in Dubai, and he will be bringing us update on the national female volleyball team. Hello, Momodu Gajaga. Hello, Gajaga. How are you? Hello, Momodu Gajaga.
I'm very well, thank you, and it's a pleasure to be on this morning, yet the second year in Dubai, where the Gambia women's volleyball team is preparing for to a training camp.
It's a pleasure, Gajaga. So what's going on at the moment? Well, Momodu Gajaga, I think he's not getting us at the moment. And,
it appears the reception
at
this end.
Yes. Well, viewers, what we'll do is, it's important, as you know, the female volleyball team.
Okay, it appears we have Gajaga back.
Gajaga is back. Hello, Gajaga.
Yes, sir.
We apologize for that. I think it's the reception out there.
Reception, maybe the line drops a little bit.
Yeah. So what's going on this morning?
Yes, we are talking about Gambia women's volleyball team. Yes, they've been practicing.
Well, it's a bit difficult to connect to Momodu Gajaga. We have images, but it's like we're not hearing. Hello, Gajaga, can you hear us? Okay. Maybe they'll try to get Gajaga on the line again.
Well, if he can hear us, he could just let us know. But again, the national female volleyball team training camp that they have now in Dubai is a very important one. We know we do not have some of the facilities and exposure that you have in Dubai, and I think it is very important for the exposure and the development of the players, and it couldn't have come at a better time.
Exactly. So I was saying it's a good one for us to have such kind of facilities in the Gambia, because I mean, when you look at professional maybe volleyball players, these are people that our own women here will be competing with. So these people, they have all the facilities and they have trained very well. They are on point. So if you don't have the same facility, it will be difficult to compete these people.
For this goes for all sporting disciplines. It's not just about the talent or the resources that you're given, but I think the exposure you get and the facilities also helps you in your development as a player. So it's important that these players are exposed, because the facilities you have in Dubai are of high standard. These are world-class facilities, and I think it is going to help them a lot, especially in their preparation for future competitions.
Well, recently when you look at sports, I mean, our people have been trying very well when it comes to the likes of Gina, when it comes to the Scorpions,
even in volleyball,
the under-20, the volleyball, and we've seen the national volleyball women team. I hope the sports committee responsible for sports, they will also try to provide such kind of facilities for these people, so that they don't go out to do this training.
And for these facilities, I mean, they cost a lot of money. If you look at Gambia in terms of sports infrastructure, we don't, compared to other countries, we don't have much, but I mean, things are changing. The sports council and government, they're trying. Let me just give you an example. You look at, we have very few tennis courts in this country. The very ones that are really of high standard, like the ones we have at Q City, at the stadium, but they're very few. So with more of these, sporting facilities that are really of standard, I think it will help us a lot.
Well, it's a gradual process. Well, yes. So we have someone on the line.
Yes. So, hello, Fatima. Can you hear me? Well, actually, Fatma Rajame is the captain of the national female volleyball team. Okay, I think we have her on the line now. Hello, Fatima. How are you doing? Good morning from our end here. I understand it's afternoon there.
Hello,
Fatima, can you hear me?
Okay. Okay, she's not
Well, I'm
getting
afraid.
us, yes,
Well,
so.
Fatima is actually a friend. I didn't recognize
Oh, okay.
her.
I think she's back on the line. Hello, Fatima.
Hello.
Yes. Well, thank you. I mean, for agreeing to speak to us. So, how has the training camp been going so far for you and your colleagues?
Yeah, it has been going well because the main purpose of this training camp is to gain more experience, get the exposure, because then when we go back to our family, we're not provided the facilities that we need. That is like very long that the balls to is about. So coming here, seeing the development that we have, it's an indoor lawn. Whatever you do. So it's a very good thing because we're getting that exposure, the experience is coming in. We are learning more things. Yeah, so that's it.
Well, I'm told
Yes.
Momodu Gajaga is
I understand we have Gajaga
Yes.
also on the line. Gajaga, we were trying to engage him earlier. Unfortunately, the reception, wasn't really very good. Gajaga.
Now I've changed position.
Yes.
Hopefully it's much better here.
Indeed, it's much better there. So you were giving us a rundown of, the training schedule for yesterday.
Yes. Yesterday, in fact, at the volleyball court, they had a visitor who is part of the United Arab Emirates Volleyball Federation. He's in fact the Secretary General, Ahmed. He visited the team and showed love and welcomed the Gambian team and says they will do everything possible to support the Gambia women's volleyball national team. Because Dubai and United Arab Emirates in general terms is known for investing a lot in sports. Yes, they are an oil-rich nation, and they've spent a lot in sports infrastructure. If you look at their sports infrastructure, thus that volleyball court, it can host handball, tennis. So if you look at the football fields around here also, so there's a lot of investment in sports. And as well as globally, they've invested a lot of money into other sports through their companies and other investment partners.
Gajaga, that is, quite welcoming news. Fatima, how is this training camp going to help you as players? How is it going to contribute to your growth as players? Hello, Fatima.
Reception out there.
All right, Gajaga, I hope you're still there. So, in terms of the foundation and the ambassador himself who helped facilitate this training for these players, what has been their impression so far? I'm sure you must have engaged them.
For Tijan Jete is the main facilitator of this training. It's through his connections here, through the Ministry of the United Arab Emirates, that's the Sports Ministry, and he's able to get good people around here, boosted us very well. People like Hassan, who picked me up from the airport, and also the entire delegation who came prior, earlier before I came. So it's been good, it's been fantastic. They really make us feel at home, and I think everything is going on well, and the training is really rewarding the benefits.
Okay, Gajaga, what is the response from the players? Our volleyball team.
Well, they've been in ecstatic mood, I have to say. They've been really feeling good about the whole trip, and in fact, I think. And they've really improved according to their coaches. The first day I came, I interviewed their coaches, and their reaction is these players are getting better and better at training.
Interesting.
That's quite
yes.
It's really very much welcoming to know that the players are improving. So we thank you,
Yes.
Gajaga, and
Yes.
We look forward to engaging you more, probably tomorrow.
Yes. Thank you very much, Momodu Gajega, for joining us. And
Fatima as well.
Always my pleasure. Looking forward to it.
Yes.
Yeah,
and
I
think the reception
we couldn't really,
was not very clear from their end. And now we'll take a short break. After the break, then we'll be joined by Mariama Jabang, commonly called the Kabagal, the famous Kabagal, and on the inspirational stories. We'll be right back.
Light. From the beginning of time, light has been there.
It is integral to our survival and to our way of living.
We need light to work,
To build,
to grow things, and even to see our loved ones.
light makes things easier and better.
So QCell has changed the way you buy Q-Power to make it easier and more accessible.
You can now access the same service quickly and get your cash power tokens instantly with the new QCell Q-Power code.
To light up your world, simply dial *363#.
With the touch of your fingers,
With ease and convenience from the comfort of your home or office,
you can bring light into your world instantly with *363#.
Q-Power, lighting your world.
QCell Sunyabus.
We innovate, others follow.
With so many things to do in a single day, it's important to have a network you can trust. When there's family and friends to connect with and business calls to make, you need a network that is reliable and fast. Talk longer, browse faster, go farther, and roam wider. When your network is solid, the world is your oyster. QCell, your trusted network in the Gambia.
Your favorite mobile service has done it again. Now you can buy cash power with your QMoney account free of charge. Yes, you heard me right. For free. Nothing is cheaper than free. So start buying your cash power from the comfort of your homes with unbeatable services QMoney has to offer. With QMoney, life is easy. Visit your nearest QMoney agent to cash in or call customer care on 133 for more information. Don't forget to wash your hands with soap after handling cash. Stay home, stay clean, stay safe. QMoney, Sunyu Kalpe. We innovate, others follow.
Welcome back from that short break. Interesting in the studios. Be reminded, this program is sponsored by One Stop Water Solutions. They are Sukuta traffic lights. Go get your water dispensers and, of course, all that you need when it comes to water filters. When in inspirational stories, we have Mariama Jabang, commonly called the Kaba Girl. Well, if you've not seen her before, I mean, you've heard about the Kaba Girl, and right now, Eso, I don't know, small gaming bang down.
xam naa daal dëgg bi comme ñoo xam ne dañ dee foroxal am nga bu yu forox yu safi nii
bo yow nu rooga ku mun foroxal de noo ko nekk di waxee nii ñu dalal la si programme bi Mariama na nga def
Jàmm rek
ñu ngi laa dalal si this morning.
Thank you for inviting me.
am nga soo déggee kabaagaal da nga dee fa ne comme punkal boo xam ne
kabaagaal soo yow yaay kabaagaal ok wax ñu tuuti kan mooy kabaagaal.
Assalamualaikum wa QCell.
Wow. ñu ngi laa fay ñu nit.
Okay, maa leen naa nuyu. My name is Mariama Jabang, known as Kabagal. Ma may di Kabagal herself.
Okay. Naka la affaire si starté.
Lan moo la dugal si jaay kaba.
Naka la starté. Di nga ko wax de dina génn de affaire si moom.
Wow. Okay.
nañ waxtaan.
jaay moom. commencé ma si kaba rek.
ok
dem school depuis primary school maa ngi jaay butterscotch xam ngeen butterscotch.
waaw
ko dem primary school.
rool yu ndaw yooyu.
rool sweet yu ndaw
xale yu foofu rek time school ak time xale ñoo xamul.
butterscotch.
dam doon jaay butterscotch time school. ba ma dem primary school ba jeexal dem senior school maa ngi jaay butterscotch ba ñëw grade 9 jeexal grade 9 ma dem liggéey mbindaan. pour mun a fay sama school fees. grade 10. noonu laa fa nekkee ba transfer kër Serigne comme Sénégal bi fu ma dee jaay si gannaaw noonu. suma këri baajen ma dëkkaa moom pour dem grade 10 waaye konko xam nga mun ngaa dëkka ak sa baajen. gannaawam la xam jot gannaawam.
waaw
konko man dama yaaga di jaay. en jaay ruuse yoo ma ko ma am suma siyo bu ndaw ak suma palaat bu ndaw bu ma dee jaayee. waaye comme Sénégal bi si garage yi craft market bi si club yi daf ñu jege. dam daan jaay mandarine su ma demee Casamance indi mandarine di tax man daal lu ñor na nekk lu jaayee bu lekk lu nit mun a jëndaa jaay banaana. dinaa ko génnee dem jaay dinaa dem si garage yi si craft market bu nekk Sénégal bi léegoo-léeg midnight guddi si club yi comme si bunti club bi nii. dam fa dee toog suma xarit yi ñoom su ñëwee dem di ñëw man maa ngi jaay suma njaay noonu la jaay bi commencé noonu laa doon jaay pour mun a dimbal suma boppa fay suma school fees. bi ma ñëw si kabaay.
waaw man da xam nga sa lan moo ma jaaxal yow mu ngi mel ni affaire si da nga ko teel a commencé. ñaata at nga am.
may 26.
26 years.
waaw
ah eso kii 26 time bi.
waaw.
laajte ko ndax am na jëkkër. am nga jëkkër. bëgguloo jëkkëri Paul.
Paul yi ñoo ma dee indi kabaay.
ñoo dee indi kabaay de bëggoon naa la ca foo dee jëlee kabaa ndax xam naa ne yéen ñu toog ne kabaa dafa xam nañu ne kabaa dafa am saison ñu toog ne kabaa dafa manqué si dëkk nga toog xëy na soo demee even syndicat nga dem fa doo gis kabaa nga xam ne foofu la xëy na yéen foofu la dee gën a bëri foo dee jëlee kabaa.
ok xam nga nit lépp li nga jaay. soo si yàggee da nga ko dee bugga. te soo ko buggee daf laa gën a bugga tamit. just be passionate of what you are doing. ndax jaay mata la anything li nga jaay nit yi ñëw jënda parce que xam nga Gambia moom I'm so proud of the Gambian. lépp li nga jaay espèce suñu gisee comme xale bu ndaw enu war a toog di ko jaay kenn dafa ñëw mu ne oh yow da nga jaay yow xale bu ndaw bi dañoo ñëw because of li nga def dañoo ñëw ñu lay gën a support. noonu laa demee si into kaba ba léegi 6 years maa ngi si kaba am na Gambia am na Casamance am na Bissau.
ok
kaba amul time bi waaye benn tey lu ma bëgg naa lekk di def and I research more of how to get this product. and the more ma nekk si the more may am nit ñi nga xamante ne naa leen wax ok bëgg naa kaba doole ma utal kaba parce que right na da ngaa gis saako kaba 8000 na 9000 6000 7000 parce que time bi du dee am and nekkut yëpp a dee mun a ñor time bi nii yu ñorut yi lañ dee indi ñu denc ko ba mu ñor. ñu indi ko fépp fu ñu ko mën a indi noonu laa di amee kabaam. si pipe yi yeah compared to the summer like June July August du dee cher saako bi 200 300 500 1000 1005.
xam naa
daf dee bëri.
Bale Mariama jaay kabaa bi moo def siiw na si lool sant yàlla. waaye understand naa tamit ne da nga am ay client ba Europe naka la loolu possible.
ok like xam nga bu ma doon dem school dam daan dem liggéey bi daan di dem school damaa dem fompa si kaw around Sénégal bi ma indi suma table bi teg ko si mbedda bi may amee style photo yooyu noonu table bu ndaw nii bu ma doon jaay si siyo ñëw si palaat ba am suma table ba tey suma customer indi ma ak chaos but léegi reet na ne ko fa bu ma doon su ma demee school dam dee binda si kaw comme Kabaga with my number ma dem school ndek ma ko serious kuy dem school maanaam dee dem school dooj ñëw jaay kaba
so maanaam da nga doon dooj waaw loolu waaye as far as boo doojee school sax waaye yow am nga passion
dugg na si leneen loo xam
nga def dara xam nga lu bon nga daw school ba pare nekkuloo di def dara.
mais ñàkk a jàpp ci dara
loolu affaire la de waaye at least am na fu la.
waaw.
xam nga bu ko loo def rek la da nga dee foog ne toog classe waste time la. ok léegi bu ma bindee suma tur binda si kaw Kabagal binda suma ndomba Kabagal tur bi foofu la staré ok it was around December January yooyu noonu bu Gambia diaspora yi day ñëw Gambia. one sweet girl ku tudda Trendy Aji Ami makeover moo visité woon suma palace fekk daf ko gisoon si benn customer moom tamit si salonam mu la ci ko foo amee kaba yi mu ne ko Sénégambia noonu la ñëwee start di ma seen Snapchat yi mu koy dugal noonu la nit yi de xam naa dafa amoon lot of followers and like képp ku gis kaba bi at that time of the month daf di ne foo amee kaba bi daf leen dee indi suma place noonu la doon joxe gars suma nomba ba tey suma tur siw si America àdduna bi yëpp
waaw you see how powerful social media
xam nga li ma jàng si lii ñun Gambien yi ñoo war a jàppale wante moom gis na la ngay def dara nga nekk xale muy Gambien mu taxaw si yàlla gën laa wërsëgal so lii dañ ci war a jàngee ñu ne tamit kon Trendy jërëjëf we appreciate that
suñ jàppale wante rek mu dem
waaw parce que xam nga comme àdduna sa wërsëg daf dee nekk si kenn the more the person visit you you are like danga dañ laa gën a xam loolaa ma dal si Trendy benn nit yëpp xam ma tey di ko export through the support of the diaspora Gambian members.
léegi am nga plan pour nga expand business bi because bëgguñ nga am fii rek bëgguñ ñooy gis kaba dañ bëgg léegi Kabagal ngay téye sa kaba yi duga plane yóbbu ko.
xam nga sax ba pare si kaw loolu tamit bu gën a xam ne am nga ñi nga liggéeyal ndax tey fi mu nekk Mariama bi doon jaayal boppam moom keena tey turam am na fi mu aaga ndax am nga ñi laa liggéeyal pour gën laa jàppale ndax xam naa ne yow keena rek dina métti ak yow tamit am nga ñeneen ñi ngaa liggéeyal tamit. boole ko li la bal de laajte.
ok.
njëkkee ko ci expand business bi.
ok like expand business bi bu suma business bi nekkoon si table ba léegi am a lot of demands and man kenn mun maa liggéey. ma xool into the society am na ñi nga xamante ne dem nañ school am na ñi nga xamante ne jeexaluñ seen school ma employ most of the youths like Gambian youths both boys and girls ñu may liggéeyal ñeneen ñi di ko dem yóbbu si school si ñeneen ñi di toog suma place di ko jaay and also yeneen Gambian diaspora
ñi nga liggéeyal ñoo nekk ni si vidéo bi ñoo gis si screen bi nii ñi yëpp yow la ñoo liggéeyal Mariama mashallah.
Well, this kaba business is not a small business. No. yaa ngi gis ay saaku.
ñaata nit la ni ñaata nit ñoo la liggéeyal ni bëri nañ
like ñii dañu xaw ma
eso xoolal ma kaba boobu boobu dafa mel ni am na jumbo ak kaane sax mënoon na ko de
dinañ wax si nu mu ko dee defaree ak lim ko mixé waaye man am interested to know ñaata ay ndaw daal ñoo laa liggéeyal ni
ok comme season kaba bi how will I put it through hanga when it's su amut ak su amee du lee gën a busy comme during the June July August du lee busy waaye during like November December January February ba March the demand daf dee high dam dee am ñi nga xamante dañ ma dee liggéeyal full time am na ñi nga xamante ne dañ ma dee liggéeyal full time currently may employ 10 waaye comme su ma amee liggéey bu bëri comme contractors dina employ 30 people boys and girls waaye depend na si seen liggéey kaay and expand pour ma expand suma business xalaat naa ko ba tax jëndal suma boppa laan bu ma jënda and
jënd nga si laan
so laan bi luy affaire danga ci bëgg a def kaba industry
laan bi lu tax ma jënd ko kaba laa bëgg a ji dem naa ba am naa like small kaba li nursery bu ndaw bu ma def ak limon yu ma nekk di ji pour in the next 2 years time ma mun koo ji parce que kaba daf day jël 5 to 4 years balaa mu jur so dafa am a lot of process
background research
am xam nga soo xoolee li nga koo jëndee si biti war koo indi fii transportation bi lim la cost.
So why not?
Ak loolu yëpp moom mu ngi ko bëgg a jël bo Mariama nag I like the way you're thinking.
Wow, exactly. That's very important. Kontaan nañ ci torop ndaxte gis nañ ne ndaw la xale la mu ne mu ngi 26 years. Soo déggee Kabagal da nga foog ne maybe benn
man mii loolu ma dal.
nuñ ko ooyee jéeg la oo jege ma jege ma.
man mii loolu ma dal.
Léegi naka nga gisee yow depuis boo starté business bi si diggante bi rek àddina bi yëpp xam la rek affaire si ñëw buntay ubbeeku macha allah naka nga gisee affaire si yow noo feel.
I was so impressed of myself parce que jombu ma fa def la and comme first ma school fi sa taxoon ma gën a dugg si njaayantu ba agsi tey fii waaye dama yàgg di ko def parce que suma maam daf dee indi yoxoos paañ temps wuñ nekkee xale di ma ne enol nga dem si kër yi comme ngay duga am from Kartong and ñun
so réewu leen géej bi
déedéet so da ngaa gis ne depuis foofu laa commencé and because of the Gambian support comme gom si man dañ gom si lu ma def ba ñëw tey ñu am fit bi parce que lekka ko parce que woon comme bu ma nit yi xamutoon su ma ko mixé si kabaay da ngaa gis customer su ñëw mu ne ma kabaa ñaata la mën ko 7500 dafa maa ne lii dam koo forcé mu lekka ko mën ko waa kaay ma may la rek parce que xam naa ne su ko mosee dina ñëwaat so noonu la customer started di ñëw and ma gis ne comme doomi Adama Njaay loo lépp li nga def gom ko bugga ko teg si fayda nga xam ne nga xam foo jógee ko pour am dara.
léegi lan lañu war a def eso yaa ngi xalaat yaa ngi jaay kaba bugga nañoo set up industry bi nga xam ne dafa produce kaba juice xam nga fekka emuloo si defar kaba bi rek waaye kaba juice am na solo at least ñun tam ñu koo jaay si biti fooguloo loolu am na solo.
loolu am na solo waaye comme xam nga resources yi and the materials needed pour defar ko nekkut Gambia for instance comme butéel bi da nga am pour jënd butéel bi si industry bi soo amee pour manufacture ko into juice processing kaba dafa am gaz du dee lit 24 hours fekk freeze loo ko da nga am pour indi loo xamante ne dina ko sustain at a longer period of time and also parce que ñun Gambia ñun am nañ fruit yu bëri yi nga xamante ne suñ si jàppoo ñu def ko like a industrial thing ñu am suñ homemade product like the kaba and the other fruits ñu mu boolee si dafa over interesting li nga xamante ne duñ jënd comme doon saay mën yi nga xamante dañ koo process outside the Gambia da nga gis dañu am suñ homemade thing parce que this is kaba is a homemade thing dañ ko liggéey Gambia fii et xam nga Gambia ne suñ ñëw ñu lekk kaba dañ dee feel home parce que dañ dee ne waaw géej naa lii
sometimes soo demee fooñi da ngaa gis mango yu yaaxu especially my favorite mango jur nga gis jur baa ngi daanu fële nag yaa ngi koo lekka ma ne why not ñu am industry bu defaree mango juice process ko from the Gambia
bëri na yàgg nañ di ko joytu di ko wax waaye fanaa li mu wax tam dëgg la I mean resource bi su fa nekkee matériel yi nga soxla pour def façon liggéey bi mel noonu nekka fa dina yomba ak nit ñi waaye li ma bëgg a xam tamit mooy soo déggee ñu ne kabagaal ñëpp di daw si kabagaal kaba bee neexat moo tax naka nga dee defaree kaba bi
secret bi
ak lan si nekk
secret
bi mën nañu wax secret bi because
loolu amul any ingredients yi nekkul secret defar bi am secret parce que like loolu mooy suma doole
gars yi ñu ne loxo yi du benn
maanaam defar bi sa doole la sa doole la
waa ca wàññi si
ok like before si kaba itself laa ko dee mixé dam dee dog ma mix ko but at time that customer ñëw mu ne ma kaba gaal why not nga def ci plastique xam nga comme customer yi comme ingredients yi dafa depend to the customer desire lan la bëgga more of what
waaw gis naa bële moo gën a teg bii
dafa am sukur rek a fi nekka so bi am na kaani jumbo xorom sukur
that's my favorite
bële mooy bu saf bi mooy bu neex bi ok
so da ngaa dina customer bi dafa des wa lan la bëgga daal loolu laa fi nekka
amuloo kudu ma test
kudu nag laa faa
waaye baaraam bi mu ngi fa indil indil
waaye ay pol bi le
waaye ñu bëgg a kaba bi fii bëri nañ de
mu ne ko ay pol bi le
bëgg naa si laal tuuti de
war nga naa ñëw Sénégal
naka la moo tees
bul caalit de booban la bu sugur bi la ne bu saf ban la si
di mooy bu am kaane bi ak ji boobu mu ngi mel ni mu ngi am sukur tuuti am na si sukur tuuti est-ce que li saf na de waaye Kabagaal wax ñu tuuti lan mooy yow at the moment sa challenge lan mooy sa difficulté
tey soo doon laaj ndimbal ba fa ngeen ndimbal
loo bëggoon
bëri na
wax ñu si
ok for instance am naa suma laan am naa suma laan bëgg naa ko baa bu weer commencé suma transplants from the nursery bed that I have already done pour ma dem transplant ko su fekkee dinaa la ci ndimbal laan borehole ak solar parce que su ma ko waree ji sori na dama am pour tabax lu ndaw li nga xamante ne ku war a tekkee plants yi foofu la war a dëkka am courant am borehole pour di ko roose ba kañ la Kaba bi di am di jur in next 5 years time and also like yeneen materials yu ma lay use like a vacuum and the vacuum bag the vacuum machine and the vacuum bag is not available in the Gambia and dafa cher
dama am pour jëlee ko si biti
dama am pour jënd ko Holland indi ko fii Gambia
Kabagaal register nga sa business bi musuloo try pour génn nga dem nga seetal sa boppa ay bagage because soo génnee nga dem seetal ko sa boppa foog naa mooy yooyu yaay mun a pick loo bugga nga indi ko si réew mi
ok waa xalaat naa loolu waxa nga pour nga def business Gambia yombut especially so established into a big thing like before I was just dealing with small quantity and now I'm dealing with tons. I have to teach my employees how to take care of the business and dama war a be sure of lan lay bàyyi gannaaw balaa may dem parce que ku war a téye sa business sa kanam du ko téye sa gannaaw noonu so balaa ma comfortable pour move away to go and look for those materials for myself I have to be sure ñan lay gannaaw
maa ngi xalaat apply de
ba pare
baal ma apply di nga lekk kaba ba pare
xanaa la nga apply bàyyi ma gannaaw
dañoo apply
waaw léegi Mariama liñ dese si waxtu bëreetut ma bëggoon rek yow ndaw nga yaa def ngay jigéen di daan sa doole ñëpp naw la si tey soo doon yedda sa moromi jigéen ñi tey rawatina ndaw ñi lan ngay bàyyi gay
ok lan laa am pour wax xale jigéen especially xale jigéen yi parce que I'm a woman I have to empower the women of the Gambia mu ndaw wala ku ndaw o mag parce que yombul pour nga commencer sa business loo xamante ne dafa successful parce que time bu ma doon nekk si mbéera bi di jaay dangaa toog si mbéera bi depuis si suba ba si ngoon
doo jaay dara
customer du ñëw patient la lacce ak confidence ak gum ndaxte ok yaa ngi dem school amuloo ko laa fayal school fees yéen man suma waa kër yi bëgguñ maa dimbali kenn du la mun a dimbali parce que ñoom seen boppa amuñ ko yow mi ndaw indi sa waajur indi nañ la si àdduna bi you have a roof on your head kenn waxut ma Kabagaal demal def lii maa jógal suma boppa di foraatu ba accepté si Kaba so xale jigéen ñi foraatu leen loolu mun a foraatu rek ngeen def si jom def leen si góom ngeen am si patient ngeen xaar seen time dina ñëw
thank you very much Kabagaal mu ngi mel ni eso waxtu bi xooj nañu waaw
yàgg naa di toog si plateforme bi waaye tey laa xam ne toog naa si plateforme bi and I am inspired
no I am motivated
Mariama we are proud of you
keep it up and we will continue supporting
Gambia li ma ñaan ñëpp mooy ñu support léegi support Gambian business
foog naa maa si mis suma mbuba bi yaa ngi amee QCell line ok léegi jox ñu sa number bi nga joxe ko on TV di nga gis képp ku nga xam ne bugga na laa support ko bugga indi comme loo wax noonu ba pare bugga jënd Kaba àddina bi yëpp ñu ngi laa seetaan
sa QCell
waaw léegi joxel sa QCell number bi
ok xaas Gambia ni xam nañ Kabagaal xam nañ fan lañ ma Feke, my Senegal opposite Janet Bank at the same spot has the Kabagal.
Suma
number 325-3239. Suma benen number 3474119. Kep ku bëgg Kaba especially dise ma ngi jot di ma ngi xaar suma fancy.
Waatal number bi.
325-3239.
Kii loyal customer la.
3474119. Kep ku bëgg Kaba ak yoko si lepp lu nga bëgg dimbal ci Kabagal.
And I'm surprised Kabagal ñaari QCell number la amé. Ñaari QCell number. Yo loyal customer.
Yo loyal customer QCell.
Thank you very much. Jerejef, thank you. Viewers, thank you for watching. This is all we have for you on this edition of This Morning. And it was good. I mean, it was a good ride, man. Eso Nyasi.
I mean, wonderful day. Yes.
Thank you. And be reminded, this program is sponsored by One Stop Water Solutions for all your water dispensers and, of course, filters. Until we come your way again, have a wonderful day.
Anna Mariam.
Adama bu ne yelloo na ndox mu set te ndox mu set dafa bokk ci dunni doomu aadama te biir kat amul seetu waral na lépp lu fay dugg dafa war a doon li nga xamante ne ni lu indil doomu aadama bi loraange ci wàllu wér-gu-yaram One Stop Water Solution Limited ñu ngi fii ci biir réew taxaw temm fexe pour gis ne doomu aadama bu ne di nga naan ndox moo xamante ne ni ndex mu sell te wóor la ndax indil nañ leen ay xeetu filtres yi nga xamante ne ni mun ngeen koy jëfandikoo ci seeni pompe yi ci biir réew moo xam booxul ngay jëfandikoo wala pompe nawek yi bépp xeetu filtre bi nga xamante ne ni dina la indil wér gu yaram musal la ci loraange amal nañ leen ko ci biir réew am nañ 10-inch filter set of 3 bii nag ñett lay àndal bu ci ne ak li muy liggéey bokk na ci 5 micron pp sediment filter bii nag mooy segg ndox mi ba mu set génnee fa lépp li nga xamante ne ni warta ànd ak ndox moomu bala nga koy jëfandikoo gat granule carbon filter bii nag mooy segg génnee lépp lu xeetoog chemical ak organique yi nga xamante ne ñoom ñoo nekk ci biir ndox mi sellal ndox mi ba waral mu soppi li nga xamante ne moom la ndox mi di saf mu soppi cafin gi def ko ndox mu sellate óor CTO block carbon filter bii nag du yem rek ci segg ndox mi sellal ko ba mu sell waaye nag daf koy yokk ay ngéneel yi nga xamante ne ni day baax ci wér gu yaramu doomu aadama bi dëgëral waaye tamit yàggal lool sa yuur wi am nañ tamit 12-inch filter set of 3 boobu it liggéey bu nu mel lay def ñetti filter yépp benn bu ne ak lu muy liggéey am nañ 10-inch post carbon 10-inch coconut carbon 75 GPD PO1 membrane bi amal nañ leen bépp xeetu water tank tàmbalee ko ci 500 litres 5000 ba ci 1000 litres ak plumbing fittings kon nag mbokk yi bu ngeen buggee naan ndex yu sell te wóor seeti leen One Stop Water Solution Limited suñu makkaan bu mag baa nga foofa ca Sukuta Highway Mariama Kunda Johnson wala nga call ñu ci 505 5691 796 8272 One Stop Water Solution Limited ndox mu set mooy yàggal dund ni doomu